Evening all, and welcome to episode 104 of Kerbalism. Now we are here in the Research and Development Centre because we've got all the wonderful science back from Duna that we've just got there from landing our Kerbals on there, and if we want to establish a long-term colony there, we're going to need to unlock something, specifically this node down here, the long-term habitation node, and the reason we need that is because it has greenhouses. We do have greenhouses on our colony ship in orbit, and I kind of had the idea of maybe breaking that apart and bringing the parts down, but I don't want to do that yet. I'd much rather have a colony sort of established, a self-sufficient place down there before we break apart our only means of escape, so this makes sense. So I'm going to unlock the planetary greenhouse. We did obviously have this before when we was trying to set up the base on Mimus, but because our tech tree has changed, we now need to unlock it once again, so that. The other one I would like to unlock, although I don't have the resources for it, don't really need it yet, is this one here, Experimental Science. If you follow any of the Kerbalism forums threads there, you'll see that I discovered how to actually get rid of radiation from Kerbals, and I've added that ability to the active shield. It uses a lot of water to do it, and isn't perfect yet, so we're still working on that, but yeah, that I want to get at some point, because when your Kerbals are out somewhere else, there is no way to lower radiation on them other than bring them home, which is really annoying. Apparently Deep Freeze mod can get around it somehow, either it freezes them in place or actually, I'm not sure, but I don't have Deep Freeze installed. But yeah, that's going to be very useful for travelling out somewhere, because if our Kerbals get caught in a solar blast, then yeah, they'd have to turn around and come home, which is a bit weird, whereas I mean, even in real life, you can wash people down with stupid amounts of hot water or warm water, and yeah, you can lower radiation on them. So, well, that's what that does there: magic, electricity, and water. So, we'll unlock that later, but right now we don't need it. Our Kerbals aren't dying; they're just sort of getting up there a bit. Yeah, so we've got lots of other things we need to unlock at some point, but well, we've got our greenhouse now, so let's go and have a look at building one or two of them. So I've just quickly jumped over to the space flag hangar here, and because you need to create the craft and save it for simple construction to actually be able to build it. That's the way extra planetary launch pads works. But I've come here and I've noticed something that's going to cause a slight problem. This greenhouse, as it stands at the moment, is 3.041 tons. And a Kerbal can only lift 1 ton. We have 3 Kerbals, that makes 3 tons. That means that if we built that, we couldn't move it. Now I could put wheels on it and a command pod and wheel it about, but I think this is as good an excuse as any to maybe send my Kerbals back and bring some more down. Bring down some of the more engineers so that we can get things done quicker, because more engineers let us build things and mine things quicker, and yeah, generally makes everything better. I also kind of want to build a little rover to go driving around in Duna, because there are lots of biomes there that we could get loads of science from. Could be fantastic. Also, another thing I want to build, so we've got 3 things on the card at the moment, is a Scansat satellite to actually go in a polar orbit, because the one we had disappeared, and I still never figured out where that went. So, no, it just disappeared. Maybe I hit the abort button or something, I don't know, but it's gone, so we need another one of them. So, yeah, I think I will probably try and set the greenhouse up first. I'll bring one more engineer down, probably. I think. I'm not too sure how I'm going to work that, but yeah, we'll figure that out. But speaking of doing that, we have had a few changes over there. Well, what has been happening here? Well, the first thing is that I've managed to break a solar panel and radiator off here. These are really in bad position, so I need to do something about that. But the biggest issue I've actually had is that this is moving. You'll see our flag is now up there. It was down here. Now up there. We've also had this. I built this little habitation pod there. That's a kids container, so I can put things in it to store things around. And that is one of these. But yeah, every time I come to load this vessel, it bounces a tiny bit and slides down the hill slightly, because we are on a slope going that way. So yeah. That's going to be an issue. I don't know how to tie it down. I think there's a way to do it with Kerbal attachment system. You can peg something to the ground and then pin your base to it, but I don't know yet. Yeah. The other things to note are obviously our engines have all gone. I've just noticed I've got one left there, so I missed one. Okay, but yeah, our engines are all gone. The docking ports at the bottom as well. They've all been recycled, and we've converted that metal into lovely rocket parts. We also have a random probe out here, holding its lump sum, and the reason this is here, it is plugged into our network, so it's getting resources and things from there. But the reason that's there is because every time I attach or detach something from these, it resets our science experiments. There's a wonderful bug with it where the hard drives in Kerbalism just lose all their data. So what I've done is the surface sample, which is the only one I haven't transmitted back because I can't yet, is stored in here. So I can right click the bottom bit here, you'll see data. There we go, look, surface sample is stored there. And that means that hopefully, because I have had an issue with this before, if I bring up X science now, it still tells me I need to take a surface sample. I think that doesn't realise that we have one, because it still sees that as an empty field. You know what I mean? We've never reported that back, so yeah. But if I take a surface sample and then change something on here, take something off or add something to it, it resets every time, so that's why that's stored there, nice and safely. Yeah. Other than that, as you can see, obviously that's being pushed about all over the place. This started off life next to the flag down here, and was just pushed to one side and moved around, and yeah. But right, we obviously need to build some things, and the first thing I'm going to build is actually a construction pad. A little tiny thing here which shouldn't take very long to build whatsoever. It's going to take like 30 seconds. That is going to allow us to plug in something over here somewhere. I'm going to do it up the hill rather than down it. And we can build things off of it. It will just sit on the floor, and it will have a way to do exactly the same what this does, but instead of it being up here in the air, it'll be down there on the floor, which makes life just so much easier for moving things around. Because I built some things on top of here. That one I built on top of there, and when I detached it, it sort of was flinging about over the place. So, but yeah, I'll build that, and then we'll look at building the greenhouse, probably on top of that construction pad, because I could put the greenhouse there and take the construction pad away from underneath it. So that's probably a better way of doing things, I think. You'll do need to anchor this down because it's moving, but yeah, that over there. Okay. Well, that's interesting. This is a little tiny pod thing I had for putting the engines on board, so that I could detach them. I attached them to this and took them over to the recycler, and it's apparently managed to travel all on its own over here whilst I wasn't looking. There are no Kerbals in here, so yeah, I'll go and retrieve that later. I suppose that's important. Anyway, let's do this thing. Nice build. There it is. A tiny little piece with nothing really important on it, but it does have a docking port hidden inside it, a little tiny one. So it's going to make life a lot easier for building things. Please grab, please grab, please grab, yeah. Right. So, I think you can put that in your inventory. I think it's only 5 kilos or something. Yes, yes, it just goes in. Oh. Okay, and we're going to need a plug or two, I think. Yep. We don't want all 9 of them. 2. Oh, there we go. Okay, right. And right, where are we going to put this? I think over there somewhere. So first and foremost, we will grab something from here and plug it in. I'm not sure whether I could. No, if I'd have put a probe on that, I might be able to use the actual resource network to do it remotely. Now I think about it. So, head out. Apparently I can attach that to the floor. Nope, and it still slides, so it doesn't actually physically fit to the floor. Okay, so let's go to construction pad. Not plug it in or do anything with it? No, because it has no probe core. Okay, so right, that's fine. Fine, push it over there. Slightly bigger, I think. I don't think I changed the size in it actually. No, it's probably the same size. Let's catch one. Back over here. I think I might make another one of those with a probe on it actually, see whether I could connect it into the network. Because if I could do it like that, that would make life so much easier. And enough. Damn it. Annoying. Oh, that. And we'll push this one back a little. A few meters out, so not too much of a problem. Enough. Yay, there we go. Right, so we now go link. Boom. There we are, and I don't think you can see that. Can you see that? It's moving. It is sliding. The whole thing is sliding down the hill very, very slowly. It's a little annoying. I need to grab the feet. I think there's a Kerbal attachment foot you can actually do, which attaches to the ground. But well, for the minute, worried about that. Just get ourselves back in our craft. Is a leap and a jet. Because the ladders were put in bad places. Right, okay. Right click that, board it, there we go. Okie dokie. And yeah, this whole thing is moving. And our flag is floating in midair, which is interesting. Okay, yep, I'm just gonna accept that and carry on. So, show the UI, pad 4, there we go, and now we can build pad craft at this pad here. So it's sort of out the way a little bit, it's not as far as I'd like it to be, but yeah, it allows us to build things away, and then I could unlink these and grab this from underneath whatever we put down here. So if we built something with wheels, it wouldn't matter because it would be able to drive off of it. So yeah, that's the idea for that. Let's look at building ourselves greenhouse. We don't have any ammonia. That's going to be a problem. We don't have any nitrogen. That's going to be a problem. Well, we do have some nitrogen. Nitrogen is building slowly. Every time a Kerbal goes on EVA, it appears to use some nitrogen, which is very, very annoying. But yeah, doable. I think we can get around. Anyway, so right, let's build that. That's going to take 3 hours. 3 hours 45 minutes. So yes, I will obviously clean out that there and probably go and rescue my transport rover, which every time I seem to leave just stops. It's 450 meters away and it's on a slope, so but yeah, I will obviously do that and try and figure out how to stop this thing sliding, because I don't want it to slide. I want it to stay still. And yeah, then I shall be back. So it would appear that Duna is actually made of shifting sand completely, because I have built a pylon, and I grab said pylon and I attach it to the ground, holding H to attach to the ground. Plonk, there it is, attached. I attach a hook to it, like that, and then I link that to the ship, the craft that is moving. Link, and it's now going to stop. Isn't that typical? Just a moment ago I did this and it just carried on sliding. It started taking that with it. So yeah, something very odd is going on with this. I was tempted to just kind of let it slide down that mountain to know where the end would be. Down here somewhere, maybe. Basically just let it level out itself and see what happened, because eventually it would come to a stop, surely. But that appears to have done it, which surprises me. So attach that on there, and let's go and get the plane, which, as you can see, is all the way over there now. It's this whole thing slid sideways, so it was being a little awkward. They're all over the place now. I did go and rescue my vehicle, which was fun, because every time I got within about 100 meters of it, it started rolling away again. So yeah, I eventually had to wait for it to roll back up a hill and then come down and very nearly run Bill over. So yeah, be careful. You don't want to get run over by your own vehicles. Very, very bad for your health. Then the ladder. Because of the way I've designed this, with these big fat wheels underneath, sort of hidden inside, you can't quite get to the door on it. There is a climb option when you're close to it, but it bounces you up in the air and doesn't really work. So climb the ladder, and eventually you get to the point where you can just do that. There we go. Okay. Get out from underneath here. Do for you. Somehow I get this away from. You can see that this is just now floating in the air. Yeah. And of course, I'm now right near the solar panels again. So, do I hate this? Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put those three away. What if I could click? Hello, I'd like to be able to click that one, please. Why can I not click that? Okay. Is that one broken or something? I guess that one's now broken. Okay. Somehow we've broken that. Okay. Yeah, I'm not having much luck with solar panels. Oh look, we're moving again. I've retracted the solar panels, and the whole thing is moving once again. Maybe to do. Oh wow. Well, that's interesting. It's snapped off from the top and is sliding away. Okay. I think I'm just going to let that slide. I'm going to let that go to wherever it needs to go to, and hopefully come to a stop at some point soon. And then we can kind of make it up from there, because this is not flat, and but we'll wait for it to make its equilibrium down there somewhere, and then I shall reattach the plane to it and try and bring some of the other bits down as well. So yeah, I shall be back in however long it takes for this to move all on its own. Hopefully it doesn't get swallowed up by the sand. Well, this has been a very interesting endeavour. I have spent, what's this, just over 3 hours trying to stop this thing from sliding, and I can't. I left it for about an hour or so sliding down the slope. I tried to do physical time warp and it just explodes, and essentially I'm going to have to leave this on entirely overnight for it to get down here somewhere to balance out. It is a bug in KSP. It's been reported right back on, I think, version 1.1, that vehicles just slide, and there is a way to fix it, which ironically I do kind of have. Well, it's not fix it, but it's that if I actually do deploy the landing gear, which makes the thing bounce a little bit and screws me up for my harvesters, because the drills can't reach the ground there, it will stop sliding. You'll notice that this here is now down the 10 millimeters a second rather than a whole 0.2 meters. Yeah, it just stopped sliding, and that's it. You just got to use landing gear apparently, which I get, but really screws me up when it comes to actually building a base, because planetary base system obviously has all these wonderful pods that look very similar to this, and they sit on the ground nicely, but if I put them on the ground they're going to slide everywhere. So to put landing gear on them I need to use these sort of parts, which increases all of my part count, which is what I've been trying to avoid. So yeah, it's annoying. It's very annoying. I would really like if there was one of these adapters that had landing gear built in. That would be fantastic. So you could just deploy the landing gear. That would be great, but there isn't one sadly, so I'm kind of stuck with what I have. Unless, of course, I was to bring a giant sheet of metal down and put it on the floor with landing gear and then put my base on top of that. Sounds a bit weird, but you know, is possible. Somewhat odd. Let's try something. Not that I'm gonna actually probably stick to this because it would be slightly cheating, but let me just try something and see what it looks like. Okay, so my brilliant idea was basically to do this: grab one of the base parts and use the welding tool to make it huge, and then stick it to the ground. And yeah, I don't really know whether that's kind of what I want yet. Oh. But there is a giant flat concrete there. Obviously the textures are they're stretched because it's not supposed to be that size, but yeah, that would allow me to have a base to put something on. KSP doesn't like that sort of thing, I don't think. If I go over here, it's above the ground there, but it's touching enough places to be flat. I just don't know whether I kind of like that idea. I would have to work on that to do something with it, but yeah, essentially I could put down a giant concrete or steel base or something and build my stuff on top of that, because that would be flat. Or I could redesign something with this over here to get my drills working properly whilst in the ground, because they're not deep enough in the ground there. Really no. I'm also still toying with the idea of just trying to find a flat piece of ground somewhere that is actually flat, but then I don't know whether there is anywhere that's actually physically flat. So this all comes down to what do I want to do with this base, or how do I want to build it. You can see that's on its roof there. So it's going to be an interesting one, but a decision I'm going to have to kind of figure out soon. But well, it's night time, so I think Bill needs to get back into the ship, and then we need to kind of take it from there. Although I'm probably going to reload it actually and not have that base there, because that was just a test to find out if it works, and it kind of does, but I'm still not sure about it. A new morning has broken, and I've decided we're not going with the big concrete thing because it looks odd. Mainly because when you mouse over anything, it highlights green. I know you can turn that off in the options, but I want it for some things. And every time you mouse over the floor, the whole floor will turn green. So we're not going to go with that. We're instead just going to go with the standard planetary-based system. And as you can see here on the end of that docking port, you've got these little blocks here for legs. So that's what I'm going to go with. We're just going to put legs on it and deal with it that way, basically. I may do a few welding tricks with some tanks to get like a large tank somewhere that stores all our resources, so it's only one part, because that's just easier. But other than that, nope, we're going to go with building the base as standard. So let's start, shall we? Because here we can finalise the build for our greenhouse. There we are. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any ammonia. And I have just remembered that we can't move that because it's 3 and a bit tons, and we don't have that sort of resource. Okay. Right. So let's take a quick trip home, shall we? Bill, you're staying here. You are going to be transferred. Staying here for the time being because we want an engineer down here, and Jeb and Bob are going to go back to our place. Told me that I don't know. And unplug this. I don't know if you can or not. Not sure. I did just keep thinking that I didn't need these rods here because I could just use the logistics network to transfer everything around, which is fine, but it doesn't transfer the engineer's abilities. So yeah, it wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to use it with using Bill's or any other engineer's ability to help mine faster, convert to metal and stuff like that. So yeah. That's why I've got to carry on using these plugs and stuff. It's not that big of a deal, to be honest with you. I was just trying to find a way to make this efficient from the start without wasting parts. And should we do something with them drills because they're not doing anything? What though? Figure that out as I come along to it. But right. On the wing, well away from the solar panel. Going to need that panel. Put you. No, we won't put you back in there yet. We're going to instead get Jeb out, and then put Jeb back in board because he was the last person to go in here, so he's not technically sat in this pilot seat. I know none of that matters whatsoever, but well, there we go. So all we gotta do is rendezvous with our Duna colony ship. Involve us obviously taking off water towards the sun. The exact opposite way to the way we're facing now. Okay, let's myself very, very gently damaging anything else. It's not going to use our fuel up whatsoever because obviously we are still linked to the network and we are technically on the ground, so using it from these tanks here, which is a bit weird, if I'm honest with you. But then I thought it kind of resembles, you know, the craft getting ready to go, I suppose. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't really, because an aeroplane fills up everything and then has to go to the runway all on its own. Ahead about 90. And, hill in front of us, which I think I'm going to roll down, and then we're going to come off the other end of it. Won't do that yet, because we have to wait for our satellite to come over. Be there, I think. So here we go. Very interestingly, because we're still moving over the surface, I can't time warp. Come on, brakes, come on. There we go. However, time has caught up with us, and we're going to have to leave our return into the next episode. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed as well. Hope to see you again next time, and until then, as always, have fun.